So there are some major updates that just dropped for Google's Antigravity, and honestly, some of these changes are pretty exciting, while others are a bit controversial. So let's just dive right in and see what's new. First off, if you have not heard of Antigravity yet, it's basically Google's answer to the whole AI coding assistant wave. It's an agent-first IDE that launched back in November alongside the Gemini 3 model. And the cool thing is, it's completely free during this preview period. You get access to models like Gemini 3 Pro, Claude Sonnet, and even some open source options. So the biggest update is this new skills feature. And honestly, this is where things get really interesting. So what are skills exactly? Think of them like custom commands or saved workflows that you can trigger whenever you need them. If you have ever used tools like Claude Code or even custom commands in other IDEs, this is pretty similar. Basically, you can package up specific instructions, best practices, or entire workflows into these reusable skills files, and the agent can automatically discover them and apply them whenever needed. So here is how it works in practice. You create a skill markdown file. Inside this file, you add some YAML metadata at the top and then detailed instructions. The metadata includes things like the skill name and a description. And that description is super important because that's how the agent decides when to use these skills. Now you can save these skills into two different places. You can put them in your project folder under .agent/skills. These are project specific, so they only apply to that workspace. Or you can save them globally in your home directory. These global skills will be available across all your projects. The way Antigravity handles this is pretty smart too. When you start a new conversation, the agent gets a lightweight list of all available skills, just the name and description, nothing heavy. Then if your task matches one of these descriptions, it loads the full instructions and follow them. This keeps things efficient without overloading the context window. Let me give you a practical example here. Say you are working on a project, you could create a skill for starting up your development server. Before skills, you would have to manually start the backend, then the front end, maybe run some database migrations. It was multiple steps every single time. But with the skill, you just tell the agent to start the project and that's it. Alright, Google also announced weekly usage cap for their AI Pro users. Before this change, the limit would refresh every 5 hours, which was pretty generous. And now they are moving to weekly limits, and the problem is, if you burn through your quota in a day or two, you are stuck waiting for the rest of the week. Google says this only affects a small number of heavy users. They are citing fairness and platform sustainability as the reasons. But honestly, if you are doing long agent sessions or complex coding tasks, you are definitely gonna feel this. The good news is these weekly caps don't apply to AI Ultra users. So if you are paying for that $200 per month subscription, you are still unlimited. But for most people on the $20 Pro tier, this is a downgrade. And it kinda pushes you toward upgrading to Ultra, which feels a bit forced. No, don't get me wrong. The Pro tier is still decent value. You get access to Claude, Opus, Gemini 3 Pro, Gemini 3 Flash, plus you get 20 terabytes of Google Drive storage and some other perks. But the weekly limit definitely take away some of the generous feel. One thing to keep in mind is how Antigravity calculates usage. It's not just about the number of requests you make. It's based on the actual work done, including those hidden thinking tokens. So complex reasoning tasks or heavy debugging sessions will eat through your quota faster. Just something to be aware of as you manage your weekly usage. Even with these new limits though, I would say the free tier is still pretty solid. You get access to all the same features and models just with lower quotas. And for casual users who are not running long sessions, you probably won't even notice. Alright, moving on the next update, which is secure mode. This is actually a really important addition for anyone concerned about security. So here is the deal. When Antigravity first launched, there were some security concerns. Researchers found vulnerabilities within like 24 hours of release. Things like potential data leaks or unauthorized command executions. Google even has disclaimer in their terms about certain security limitations. So secure mode is their response to all of that. When you enable it, you get granular control over what the agent can do. There are three different terminal permissions mode you can choose from. Turbo mode lets the agent run any command automatically without asking. This is the fastest option but also the riskiest. Auto mode is kind of middle ground. The agent analyzes each command and decide when it needs your approval. And then off mode requires explicit permission for every single terminal command. It's the slowest but also the safest. They recommend this for production environments or sensitive projects. On top of that, you can set up allow list and deny list. An allow list is where everything is forbidden unless you specifically permit it. Super secure but requires more setup. A deny list is the opposite where everything is allowed except what you block. This is faster but less secure. For most people, I would recommend using secure mode if you are working on anything important. Next up, let's talk about parallel agents and background tasks. This is another cool update that shipped recently. Antigravity now supports running multiple agents simultaneously in the background. So instead of just one agent doing one task, you can delegate long-running work while you focus on other stuff. The Agent Manager interface acts like a mission control dashboard. You can spawn different agents for different tasks and monitor them all at once. One agent could be writing documentation while other agents run tests and third agents can refactor your code, all happening in parallel without you having to babysit each one. This is big shift from traditional IDEs where everything was linear and synchronous. Alright, so another thing I want to mention is Gemini 3 Flash. This model was added recently and it offers a pretty generous free tier. It's faster than Gemini 3 Pro for planning and can also execute tasks in roughly half the time. I personally like using Flash for quick iteration or basic implementations. It's not as powerful for complex reasoning, but for rapid prototyping it's perfect. Now here is something you might not know you can do. You can actually create project management tickets directly from Antigravity. Like you can ask the agent to create a Jira ticket from your code. It does it automatically without you switching tabs or manually entering anything. The agent can control your browser and fill out form for you. Then it gets right back to coding. It's a small thing but it really streamlines your workflow. Another use case is building prototypes and proof of concepts. You can do this entirely within the agent mode without leaving your IDE. Create demo app, test them live, debug issues all in one place. And if you have browser integration enabled, the agent can even manipulate Google Sheets. You can automate data updates or organize information without switching windows. So you can automate entire workflow completely for free using the playground features. Also, Google Workspace users now get high refresh rates if they have the AI Ultra for business subscription. And there have been various bug fixes and improvements as well. One more thing I should mention is MCP server support. This is Model Context Protocol integration. It basically lets your agent connect securely to your enterprise data sources. Things like BigQuery and Cloud SQL. You can query database, generate SQL code all directly from the IDE. The setup is pretty straightforward too. You just search for the service you need in the MCP store and install it. Then you enter your credentials and you are good to go. This makes Antigravity way more powerful for working with your actual production data. The skill update makes it way more customizable and the secure mode addresses a lot of the early security concerns. If you have not tried it yet, I would recommend starting with the free tier. See if you hit the rate limits and upgrade if you need to. For most people, the free or pro tier should work just fine. Alright, so that's basically everything I wanted to cover today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. And I will see you in the next video.